8:22. Angela, do you want to have this chat with Ruben, or do you want me to?
What? Oh, the chat about skin cancer?
No, about his language.
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm already on to the next story. I was like, what? I got it. All right.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Thanks. Many may think skin cancer is not a big deal, but when in fact one person dies from melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, every 65 minutes here in the U.S. Now, May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and joining us this morning is Dr. Michelle Pelly to talk about some of the warning signs and how you can get a free exam. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. Thanks.
So interesting. I know as a dermatologist, you always get people say, like, look at this, but some interesting stuff we talked about. What are some of the common misconceptions about skin cancer?
Well, skin cancer doesn't just happen in people of light skin. Skin of color is also at risk for melanoma. And what you don't know is that, in fact, the survival rates are lower in skin of color because of the awareness problem. People just don't think it happens. So what we're trying to do here in May, but also in June and July, is to give free screenings. Anybody that wants to come in and have their skin looked at, if they're worried about anything, come on in to a dermatologist. There is a new program, Skin Cancer Takes Friends, and the American Society of Dermatologic Surgery and Olay have come together to try to make this an availability to people. And
we'll link that to the Fox 6 website so you guys can definitely find out more information about that. Now let's talk about, we talked about some of the strange places to get some type of mole or some irregular, like I had one on the bottom of my foot, and then I also had one on the inside of my eye. And you're saying, now is that something that people should be concerned about?
Yeah,
Could
that's
be skin
true.
Cancer?
We talk so much about sun protection, and it's so important for sun protection, but the thing to know is that melanoma doesn't just happen in sun areas. You're still going to have to look at your soles, look inside your mouth, look at your eye mucosa. All of these areas are at risk. Look in your private areas. Unfortunately, that's the situation with melanoma. It has a biologic advantage to happen anywhere on your skin if you're going to be prone to having it.
Now, what should you look for? Obviously, you should go to a doctor, but if you're checking yourself, you said there's A, B, C, D, and E things to look for.
That's right. So it makes it a little easier to think in terms of the A, B, C, D, E's. A is asymmetry. Any mole that's not a perfect circle. We don't like to see asymmetry. Border is when there are irregular borders around a mole. Again, we want it to be a nice little circle. Color. You don't want multiple colors in your mole. You want your mole to be all one color. When you start to see any color, it doesn't have to just be brown, red, blue. Those are colors of some moles that aren't so great. You want to look for color changes. And then D is diameter. We use a little bit of a rule that a pencil eraser, which is 6 millimeters, is the usual size to look for, but I easily have seen melanoma smaller. So the point is that's just a guideline. And then finally, evolving means any mole that has changed in any way that makes a person uncomfortable, even if that mole is itchy or painful, we want to see it.
Definitely. So something for you to be aware about. You still have to get it checked out, though, by a doctor. Is UV the main cause of skin cancer, even though it can develop anywhere in the body, like UV rays from the sun?
Yes, it is. There's really two big things, your genes and the amount of sun that you get. And though, keep in mind, though, skin of color, it isn't as big a sun issue. So you want to make sure that you're just looking everywhere.
So it could be genetic. It just, you may have it. You have to be aware.
Absolutely. There are multiple genes that we know carry increased melanoma risk. It isn't that you inherit one gene. You kind of inherit a tendency through multiple genes. But that's all still being elucidated. We just know that there is a very strong genetic component.
All right. And so the main thing is also obviously wear sunscreen and protect your skin in the meantime as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. Some important information. And if you guys would like more information, definitely log on to the website at fox6.com, and that'll link you to the other website where you can get those free screenings. All right, Chrissy, over to you for weather and traffic.
Good information. You know, I think the point about it not always being in the place where you get the most sun is important as well. So check yourself out. Go to the doctor. It's non-negotiable. You just have to do it. All right, your satellite and radar image. So the marine layer is sucking us in. It's 2,500 feet deep, 500 feet deeper than it was yesterday, and it's going to start to die down a little bit as each day passes for the rest of the week. With that being said, we'll have more afternoon sunshine and more time for the air to heat up around San Diego, and so it'll warm up toward the end of the week. We'll have a few clouds around town this afternoon and a real weak coastal eddy to talk about. 2 to 3 feet today, and tomorrow 4 to 6 feet by Friday and Saturday. Don't forget that red tide doesn't actually hurt you. It's just kind of ugly. 66 degrees at the beaches today, 75 degrees inland valleys, 80 degrees in the mountains. Let's see what's happening with traffic. Westbound 8 at Marina. This is an accident with injuries. Our local heroes there on the scene. A little bit of slowing, and it's the invisible woman. Southbound 5 at Santa Fe Drive. We've got an accident backing you up from La Costa. Westbound 54 to the 805. Some debris in the lanes to watch out for. I really wish that I could do that sometimes in certain situations. All right, your next update, 8:36. See you back here then.
All right, thanks, Christy. Well, up next, we're live with San Diego's first responders as they tee up